Gordon Burns as Cilla Black helps more dreams to come true in Surprise, Surprise.
Our audience tonight don't know we're watching them, but there are surprises in store for three sisters, reunited now, but with a fourth still missing. A gymnastic coach whose skills keep everyone on their toes. And this mother and daughter whose family will be completed after 40 years. For these people and more, it's Surprise, Surprise! Ladies and gentlemen, Miss Cilla Black.
That's the surprise, you see. Surprise, surprise. Surprise, surprise. Thank you. Hello, and welcome to another Surprise, Surprise. And before the show is finished, quite a few people sitting here in our audience will have been well and truly surprised, if not gobsmacked. Actually, it's letter time again. Shall I read a letter? Yes! Why not? It's quite a unique one. It's from somebody called Gary, and its postmark is Bristol, because he forgot to put his address. Have you got that letter there? Silly little letter. Have a listen to this. Dear Cilla, can you let me know the title of the song you sang on Surprise, Surprise? I can't remember whether it was last week or the week before. I think it was a Beatles number, or it could have been one of the Elton John ones. Anyway, the words were absolutely wonderful, and I'd like to buy the record. P.S. It may not have been on Surprise, Surprise. I could have heard it on the Jimmy Young show. But he's not too sure. Oh, Gary, watch me lips, Gary. Well, if you'd like to send me your address, Gary, I shall send you one of those books on how to improve your memory. But in the meantime, I'd better move on. Now, I promised you some surprises, and our first one is for three sisters. Where are you, Sheila, Rosemary, and Sarah? Where are you, girls? Come down and join us, please, girls, will you? Sheila. All right, sit down there. Oh, well, girls, you know, I know all about you three girls. Yes, because Jane Bell's sitting up there. Where are you, Jane? Yes, she told me all about you girls. Now, when you were tiny tots, I mean, you were all put into homes, weren't you? Yeah. And you, Rosemary, and you, Sheila, you were put into one home, and you, Sarah, were put into another. Is that right? Yes, but the amazing fact is, up until last year, you two girls on the end there didn't even know your Sarah existed. Is that right? That's true. Isn't that lovely? And that was when you, Rosemary, went to get yourself a birth certificate. That's when you found out. Yes. And surprise, surprise, when you contacted Sarah here, she also told you you had a fourth sister that you'd never even met. Well, I'm telling you, you tried to trace her, didn't you? And you got up to the year 1957, which we thought was marvellous. But then the trail sort of petered out, didn't it? And that's where Surprise, Surprise took it up. And we got much further than that. In fact, we got bang up to date. We have found your sister Phyllis. And here she is, your long-lost sister. Come in, Phyllis. Surprise, surprise, has got a real scoop. Just have a listen to this. Yes, James Bond, Special Agent, Licensed to Kill is back. The latest Bond film is now being made at Pinewood with a brand new James Bond. And we're going over to the film set at Pinewood where Barry Norman has got an exclusive interview with the new 007. So over to you, Barry.
Yes, indeed, Cilla. And then I say what a marvellous outfit you have on. Bettered only indeed by that worn by Jack Lemmon in Some Like It Hot. Once again, with the regularity of a film critic's expenses, the producers of the multi-million-pound Bond series have come up with another new signing, another unknown indeed, to star as 007 Licensed to Kill. And here we are in his dressing room on the famous 007 soundstage at Pinewood Studios. From Western Supermare, Ben Riley.
Good evening, Barry.
Well, Ben, fame and fortune are now guaranteed. That perhaps is why they're there. How will you cope with the pressures of being an international star when you're, dare I say it, so young?
It's no problem when you've been waiting for the big break as long as I have, Barry.
As long as 3 weeks, I believe, Ben. Hey, Ben, if you're going to be a big star, I want to be your chum. So stop this Barry business. It's either Bazza, B, or simply B. How exactly did you land this coveted role?
I just wrote into Cilla, Barry.
Ben, I must ask you this. Many people believe that Bond is a sexist, violent fantasy figure whose flippancy over some of the real issues that threaten our world amounts to a sordid exploitation of the gullible and naive. Is that a view you share?
No.
What's on set, Mr. Riley?
Sorry, Barry. Sorry, but I've got to go now.
And why not?
And didn't he look smashing, girls? Yes. And to think our little Ben's only 8 years old. Well, next week we'll be going over to the set again for a special preview of this latest film, where we will see new James Bond in action. But right now, I feel a phone call coming on, and have a look at this. I've been dying to use this all day. Look at this, isn't that super? It's a jukebox. Do you remember them, any of you? Yes. Go on, you're all older than you look. Let's put 5p and see what happens.
3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, rock. 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, rock.
Oh, do you remember that? Hey, Bobby, you ready for a jive? Oh, doesn't that bring back memories for you? Yes, my kind of music. But never mind that. I am now going to phone a Mrs. Megan Pike, who lives in Middlemorgan, Wales. Now, all her family won medals and trophies for various sporting events, but poor Megan hasn't won so much as an egg cup. Isn't it a shame? Well, we might just have to surprise her, won't we? And let's do that now on the phone. The phone. Now, it's 9 digits this week, and I hope she's in. Here we go. Come on, Megan. Total silence. Have I dialed the right amount of digits? Oh, it's ringing out. It's ringing out. I wonder where she is.
Yes.
Hello?
Oh, hello.
Who did you say then?
Tiffany, because he said Tiffany was going to ring.
Hi, Tiff.
Huh?
Tiffany.
Yeah.
Oh, the ex-Tiffany.
Is it?
Have I got the right number?
Is it 193?
Yes.
Yeah, who's that?
Well, it's me. Surprise, surprise. It's Cilla here.
What?
Oh, well, Megan, you've just cleared me sinuses, yeah. Is it Megan I'm talking to?
Yeah.
Megan Pike.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness me. I'm so pleased I caught you at home. Where's your Tiffany, then? Your Tiffany tonight?
She's at the hospital, nursing hospital.
Oh, is she? Well, she has been a one, you know, because she wrote and told me all about you, Megan. You and your Tracy.
It's Pauline, then, is it?
Oh, Megan, you've got a worse laugh than I have when you get going. No, it isn't Pauline, Chuck. It's Cilla.
Never.
It's Cilla in the flesh, it is, Megan.
Oh, God.
He won't help you now, Megan. And is your husband Keith there? I know all about you, see. Is your Keith there?
Yeah.
Oh, lovely. Because I believe you're a very sporting family, aren't you, Megan?
Well, yeah.
I mean, you don't sound too sure about that, Megan. I mean, your Keith has actually won medals, hasn't he, for his sports?
Oh, yes, he has. All of them.
Well, what kind of sports has he won medal for?
Oh, and squash, running, all sorts.
Oh, yes, and the two girls, your two girls, they've won medals as well, haven't they, Chuck?
Yes.
And you've got this burning ambition. I mean, you've been in for all these competitions. Not won a sausage, but you'd love to stand on the winning podium, have a gold medal put round your neck and have the Welsh anthem playing in the background. Is that right?
Yes.
Well, surprise, surprise.
Oh, God, I got the flushes.
Well, we're going to give you a chance to break a genuine world record, Megan.
Oh, no.
Oh, yes. We're not going to tell you what it is now.
No.
Because that's going to be a surprise, you see. But if you achieve this record, I know you will also achieve your ambition of standing on that podium, getting your gold. All you have to do is to come on the show next week, and I'll tell you all about it.
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yes.
Oh, good. And bring your Keith, your husband Keith, and your Tiffany and Tracy with you, all right?
Right you are, then.
Well, I look forward to seeing you, Megan.
Yes, so do I.
Cheerio, then.
Cheerio.
Ta-ra.
Ta-ra.
Bye. Oh, that should be fun. I'm looking forward to that. Well, now, if our Megan is to become a world champion, we'll need your help. We're looking for sports clubs, social clubs, to assist us. So if you're a club and are situated fairly near to us at London Weekend, why don't you give us a bell? We'll tell you how you can help us when you phone. And don't worry, it won't be anything too physical. So here's the special number to ring. It's 01-222-4640. And the line will be open for the next 2 hours. So get your fingers in the dial. And while we wait for the phone to ring, we'll go a slipping and a sliding in the sludge. With a group of very adventurous viewers. Have you seen that commercial for soup where the scarecrow comes alive? Have you? I think that's lovely. Well, we've had hundreds of letters from people who'd like to be scarecrows. So we picked 40 and told them to turn up in a field in their crew and their Wurzel Gummidge gear. And our Bob Cowdrey's, our very own muck spreader, just happened to be on the spot. And here in our audience are some of those scarecrows. Where are you, gang? You can hear them. Where are you? Give us a wave. Do you know, I didn't recognise you with your best clothes on. Are you all dried out now? Yes! Oh, good. Well done to the lot of you. Need it. Time to take a break now, but we will be back in a mo for a bit of old-time dancing, and we'll be taken to the skies above Sussex, and we'll be finding out who Gordon Burns is looking for on this week's Searchline. So don't go away. See you in a couple of minutes.
Murder tomorrow.
Could that have been done if you'd been wearing...
Welcome back. Now, do you remember on last week's show, I telephoned to Celia Brewer, who's yearned for years to dance the yearning saunter. She last danced it in the 30s, and I hope she can remember the steps, because she's going to do it again for us tonight. So, come in, Celia. Oh, it's lovely to meet you. Look at this. Doesn't she look wonderful, ladies and gentlemen? Yes. Oh, it's a pity to sit down and ruin that, Celia, but have a sit there, girl.
Thank you.
Oh, you know, you make me feel as common as muck with you and that. You're so elegant.
Oh, and you're so natural.
Just talk amongst yourselves for half an hour. Now, Celia, I'm dying to know about this yearning saunter. I mean, where did you used to do it?
We used to do it at the De Montfort Hall in Leicester over 30 years ago.
And Sidney Thompson.
Sidney Thompson,
oh, I know all about him, yes.
Yes. He used to have the band.
The band there.
Yes.
Now, you met him, didn't you?
Oh, I met him, yes, and I also had a dance with him.
Well, you're not going to dance with him tonight. We've got a special partner. You do know that, don't you? Yes.
Yes.
I promised.
Special.
I know. Yes. I promised you on the phone. Yes. You're going to have a champion and a toy boy.
Oh, yes.
In fact, he's won the World Professional Latin Dance title for the last 5 years. Isn't that wonderful, ladies and gentlemen?
Yes.
And he's beautiful with it. And you're all going to see him now. Come in, Donnie Burns. Well, Donnie, how do you think our Celia will fare on the dance floor with you tonight?
I'm sure she'll keep me in all the right directions, all the right steps. I'm relying on you, Celia.
Oh, I hope so.
I'm sure you will.
Yes.
How will
it
try? How will it feel dancing with a 5-time world champion?
I can't believe it.
Oh. How are you feeling? Oh, she won't look at me now. How are you feeling, Celia?
All right, thank you.
You're raring to go?
Looking forward to it, yes.
Oh, good. Well, what are we waiting for? You will look after her, won't you, Donnie?
I'll do my very best, and I'm hoping she'll look after me.
Oh, I will, yes.
Come on, then, saunter away. I'll
Thank
see
you very much. Thank you.
Well, it's time to take your partners and saunter to the wonderful music of Alan Ainsworth and his band. Oh, Celia, what can I say? That was absolutely super.
Thank you.
And you've really done us a treat. We've got another little surprise for you because we scoured all the record shops. I've got segs on my eyeballs looking for it. Look at that. There you go.
Oh, Cilla.
And it's Sidney Thompson as well.
Oh.
And the Yearning Saunter. It's all on there. So see you later. Thank you very much, Celia. And thanks a lot. Donnie, wasn't he good too? Yeah. See you later. We now go from the light fantastic to the heavy fantastic. Yes, it's our Bob Cowgies again. We had a letter from a Barbara Corthron telling us that her boyfriend, John Walker, was potty about aeroplanes and Spitfires in particular. John works as a builder and he was doing up a house in Ilford when our Bob Cowgies literally dived in on him.
Mind the builder's rubbish. Let's see if he's in. John Walker. Hello. Surprise, surprise, John. Now then, your girlfriend. You do look a bit shocked. Your girlfriend. About your obsession.
Obsession?
This obsession with Spitfires you've got.
Spitfires?
Spitfires. You're crazy about Spitfires. You're Spitfire mad, actually, aren't you? In fact, you collect all things about Spitfires and you go all over the country to look at Spitfires and all that sort of thing, all right?
I do.
We should have had a shave this morning. And you've always, I mean, you've had all these ambitions. And when you have a party, right, this is a good one, folks, you all dress up in uniform and you play Spitfire music.
That's right.
Must be to disco, that, yeah, very good.
The neighbours don't like it.
The neighbours, I wouldn't think the neighbours do, no. And the other thing, well, let me see, another one is that, oh yes, you watch the Battle of Britain about 3 times a week.
That's right.
And is it true you've got your own ejector seat?
That's correct.
Well, that's handy, isn't it? Yes. You sit there in it while you watch the Battle of Britain and...
No, it's very uncomfortable.
Oh, is it?
There's no cushions.
Oh, shame. Oh, shame. Anyway, you've always wanted to fly in a Spitfire, haven't you, John?
I have.
Well?
I'd like to own one.
Own one? Oh, well, we can't go that far. But we're going to give you a flight in a Spitfire. You are going to go up in one right now, today. How about that?
Is that believe it.
Surprise, surprise. Come on, then. Right. Is Barbara in there?
Yes.
See you, Barbara. Right. Off we go, John. Right, that's fine.
Well, off they went to an airfield in Sussex, which used to be a Spitfire base in the last war. And this is the sort of scene which was all too common in those dark days of 1941 at an airfield somewhere in England. And just see if you can spot the famous face.
We were a mixed bunch in the old squadron. Flag Lieutenant Carroll G's had his worries.
It's scandalous. Lunch at the Savoy has just gone up to 8 and 6. I mean, how can a chap... What are you doing after the war, Winko?
Our boyishly handsome leader is Wing Commander Boyd.
I don't know. Thought I might open a wine bar in the East End.
Pass the port. It'll never catch on.
The last member of the team was the newest. John, keen, young, raring to get up and at 'em, but so far untested.
Just think, chaps. Without you lot, I'd have been destined to live my life as a builder and decorator.
Like all good squadrons, 629 had its mascot, but this one had a bit of an identity crisis. It was the time of the phony war, but Britain kept cheerful by singing in the face of adversity.
I can't stand it. I can't stand it, I tell you. It's the waiting. When is something going to happen around here? When are we going to get some action?
We haven't got a telephone.
I'm sorry.
Let me see. It says Dachshunds over Dover. Scramble!
No, hang on a sec, chaps. We've got to keep something in reserve.
What do you mean, Winker?
Ah, there you go. We stay.
If I only had wings, I'd fly like a birdie in the sky. With the tra-la-la-la, a tree, it's a pair of wings for me. Take a trip to the moon on high. Ask him why he winks his eye. With the tra-la-la-la, a tree, it's a pair of wings for me. Drifting, dreaming, watching the clouds roll by. Idly scheming, happy in the bright blue sky. If I only had wings, I'd fly like a birdie in the sky. With the tra-la-la-la, a tree, get the angels swinging on the harps for me. Hop the hop, it's a pair of wings for me. It's a pair of wings for me. Yeah, it's a pair of wings for me.
Wasn't that fantastic? And did you spot the famous face, anyone? Yes! Yes, of course. It was William Boyd who plays the dastardly Wilmot Brown in EastEnders. And before we move on, I'd like to say an extra special thank you to Nick Grace, who piloted the Spitfire in those wonderful flying scenes. Well, now it's time to see who's looking for who on our search line. So over to our Gordon Burns.
Thank you, and hello. Hello to you too. Thank you, and really, who needs satellites these days? I've told you in past weeks how news of Searchline has spread through the continent. Well, now we've had a call from America. Over there in Boston, Massachusetts, Anne Bursnell is very anxious to get back in contact with her brother, who she believes lives in the Birmingham area. 26 years ago, Anne married Ron Bruton in Birmingham, but almost immediately moved to Boston. She recently heard all about Searchline and its tremendous success rate from her friend Maureen Bradley. So she wants us to try and find Brian Bursnell. He'd be in his mid-40s and could be living in Witton near Birmingham. So if anyone knows Brian Bursnell, or if you're watching Brian, please call us on the number that I'll give you shortly. Our next call is for Jean Stark, who used to work for Vernon's Football Pools in their Edinburgh office in Corstorphine, which opened in 1960. She was a great friend of May Geddes, who has sent in this photograph of Jean and her husband, Jackie, on their wedding day. Shortly after they married, Jean and Jackie went to work in Bermuda, and then Lagos in Nigeria, returning to Edinburgh in the late 60s. And it was then that May lost touch with them. May's keen to renew that friendship, so if you're watching Jean and Jackie, then give us a ring. And now it's time for the first of this evening's personal appeals.
My name is Shirley Obernick. This is my mother, my sister Daryl. We've got brother Alan. And we've also got a brother whom we haven't seen for 30 years, Lionel Obernick, living somewhere in the Derby area. He's got a family with a son called Simon. He joined the Navy back in the 60s, and we haven't seen him all that length of time. Would you please get in contact with us, Lionel? We miss you dreadfully. We'd love to talk to you again. Thank you.
Yes, Lionel, the number will be coming up very shortly. Now here's a call for some angels, as in heavenly bodies. More precisely, Sandra Bark, Pat Malloy, Sheila Edwards, and any of the others who recognise themselves from this photograph of Miss Welch's class at the Christopher Marlowe Girls' Secondary School, London, in 1960. Two of the angels, Carol James and Diana MacDonald, have already had a terrestrial encounter when they met by chance in a Dartford tea shop last year. This prompted Carol to try and find the others who appeared in the Nativity play. So, if you were an angel, fly over to the nearest phone and give us a call right away. And on the subject of heavenly bodies, we're now on the trail of heavenly twins. This is a photograph of Peter Deal, who's on the left, who together with Peter Pridgeon was stationed at Ranchi in India in 1944 with the Royal Artillery. The two became almost inseparable and were known as the Heavenly Twins. The last time the two Peters met was in 1947 when Peter Pridgeon was returning home from Japan en route to the Lincoln Military Hospital. Peter Pridgeon now lives in Northampton, and he believes Peter Deal returned to London after the war. If Peter Deal is watching, give us a ring and we'll reconnect you with your heavenly twin. And the number is 01222 8070. I'll be back later on with news about Searchline successes from last week. Meanwhile, as we've been talking about heavenly bodies, back to Cilla.
Oh, you didn't do that rehearsals, you little scoundrel, you. We shall see you later, Gordon, all right?
I shall
see you later, Chuck. Well, now, 15 years ago, Graham Swatridge started a ladies' gymnastic club in Berkshire. And ever since he's trained hundreds of girls at the gym. In fact, they are now one of the top gymnastic squads in Britain. He does this all voluntarily and is so dedicated that his girls think he deserves a Cillagram. So I went up to surprise Graham and joined some of his girls as they were arriving for a training session. Happy, happy. Well, there you are, the girls have arrived, and Graham, I believe, is sitting inside there waiting for a Soviet coach to arrive to watch the training session. Well, surprise, surprise, it's me. So, Nuka, match me on. That's Russian for off we go. Surprise, surprise, Graham Swatridge, there he is. Come in, lads. Look at that.
Oh, my God.
Is this your tea break, Graham?
Yes, it looks like it.
And there's all your lovely girls there. I know all about you.
Oh, no.
What do you mean, oh, no?
Who set me up? Come on.
What do you mean, who set you up? All your girls think you're absolutely wonderful now. I know all about you. You've been running this club for about 13 years now, is that right?
15 years, that's right.
15 years? Call me a liar for 2. And in that time, correct me if I'm wrong, have you won the Berkshire Championship 5 times?
Yes, 5 or 6, yeah, I think so.
Oh, well, I'm right there, aren't I? Well,
very well.
3 girls in particular wrote this letter to me. I don't suppose you can guess who they are. I'll bring them in now. Little Esther.
Really?
Donna. And Louise.
Okay. You, so I'll get rid of this. When was this sorted out, then?
Behind your back.
Yeah, behind my back is normal, yeah, I know.
Well, all these lovely girls here wrote and told me that they'd like me to sing you a Cillagram. How do you feel about that, Swat?
Oh, you've got a good voice, so you're as good a person as anyone.
Is he always as flash as this, girls? Well, what are we waiting for? Because the heat is getting on. fooled you there just for a minute, didn't we? Yes. But I'd like to say a very special thank you to some of the people who made that day such a super day for us. It was Graham himself, of course, a big thank you to him. My marvellous double, Caroline Dunstan, and the British Olympic team captain, Karen Kennedy. And there they all are, sitting in our audience. Well done, gang. We'll take a break right now, but we'll be back in a couple of minutes with another Searchline, a trip to the golf course, and a fantastic surprise for somebody sitting here in our audience tonight. So join us in a couple of minutes. Welcome back. Now, I don't know how many of you will remember the first show of this series, because we surprised a Frank McFarlane who has been blind since he was a lad. Now, Frank's ambition was to learn to play golf and to join the Association for Visually Handicapped Golfers. Well, we arranged for Frank to have some expert tuition from a professional golfing coach. And to find out just how Frank's getting on, let's hear from Bob Cowdery. Come in, Bob.
What do you think, eh, Cilla? Bob the card here. Holiday now's our Frank. Don't know where he is. Oh, God.
We'll put the toe end of the club to the golf ball. OK. Edge your way a bit. And away you go.
Top professional Bob Boubier is teaching Frank at his local course in Liverpool.
Okay.
Frank's sighted friend, Tony Lynch, goes too.
Don't worry about it.
He's learning to be Frank's guide. They use the positions of a clock face to tell Frank where his ball has gone.
Great shot. Where do you think it went?
1 o'clockish, straightish, 1
No,
o'clock.
11, and in the air, good.
How's it going, lads? So how's it all going? That looked a very good stroke, that.
Well, you asked the coach.
He's going great. Marvellous swing, Bob.
If you go around sort of thinking, oh, I'm not going to hit this, I'm not going to hit this, I'm going to miss it, I think you've got problems. You've just got to play the shot. Swing the club. Swing the club.
Pray a lot.
Well, do you want me to caddy for you? Because I've dressed as a
we need
caddy.
a bit of class around the place, definitely.
Right.
Yeah, Bob, smash it.
I'll get your clubs as well, then.
Got 4.5 feet, soft rolling. OK, Tone, you come in and set him all up now.
Okay. Well, that's slightly 11, Frank.
11.
Okay.
Okay.
Good. That's good. 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 Good.
Come on, you're putting for dough now.
This is the big one. Same pace.
It's for the money, you know.
Then hold it. Well done. Rib.
Right, how's it going, Frank?
Oh, where have you been, Sandy? I haven't won any money yet.
I've been practising myself. I'm a load of rubbish.
Where have you been? Where have you been? Have you looked to the countryside?
I've managed to get one hole in, I think.
Did you?
Ron's been telling me that you actually have to play 3 rounds of 9 holes to get your handicap.
That's right, that's right, yes.
Well, we've got another little surprise for you, actually, Ron, because we've arranged for you to play for your handicap, not here, but at the famous Wentworth golf course.
Good grief. Yes, well, round in 150.
Well,
I know.
So there you are, you better get on with the practice.
Well, I would do, Bob, I've run out of balls. You wouldn't collect a few while I go and have a spot of lunch with you. You're the caddy.
There's hundreds of them.
Well, I need them.
All right, well, thanks very much.
I'll get you drinking, Bob. See you. Tony, Bob, a spot of lunch, I think. See you, Bob. Bye, Bob.
Smashing, that was lovely. Well, Frank's certainly getting into the swing of things, and our cameras will be at Wentworth to see Frank in action on the green. Meanwhile, it's time for some action here from our Gordon, and there's nothing green about him, is there, Gordon?
More a bit rough, I would say. Golfing joke. Well, successful reunions are very much, well, par for the course on Searchline these days. And thanks to your help, most of those people we featured last week have found who they were looking for. Remember these high-stepping dancers from Iringa School in Tanzania? We found both Jackie Tregarthen and Irene McBain. And Irene was contacted in Italy by our researchers while we were still on the air. And continuing on a European note, remember Colleen Jeffcoat? Well, our Belgian viewer, Jacqueline Dyke, is now back in touch with Colleen, her old school friend from Doxey in Staffordshire. We also found D'Artagnan, former RAF Corporal Fred Belcher for Stuart Curson and John Parsons. In fact, Fred phoned in from his hospital bed in Aberdeen. But happily, Fred will be out of hospital very soon and is looking forward to meeting up with the other two musketeers in the near future. And finally, in our quickie section, we found Dennis Hayden Ford and sisters Irene and Florence Groves. Well, now let's try and find some more people this week. This is a photograph of Pat Russell, who trained as a nurse at the Standon Hall Orthopaedic Hospital near Coates Heath in Staffordshire in 1947. She's looking for Jill Steele, Sally Rowlands and Cynthia Fisher, who trained with her. They were all 16 at the time and lost contact when they were sent to different hospitals 2.5 years later. If any of you are out there, Pat would love to hear from you after all these years. So ring the Searchline number, which is coming up shortly. Now we're looking for John Fuller from Lewes in Sussex. He and Leo Harris were Bevan boys in 1942 at the Hucknall Colliery in Nottingham. John was also an artist and painted a picture of Confucius for Leo and his wife Joan as a wedding anniversary present 45 years ago. Shortly after, Leo and Joan emigrated to Rhodesia, taking the painting with them. They're now back in this country, along with the painting, and would like to resume their friendship with John. If John, or anyone who knows him, is watching, get in touch with Searchline, please. Now, here we go with another personal appeal.
My name is Ken Richer. 42 years ago, this week, I travelled on the Royal Tour to South Africa, and I was one of the chefs cooking for the King, Queen, and 2 princesses, along with three other lads. The chef himself was Chief Petty Officer Tanner. The other 2 lads' name was Alf Mole and Peter Lester. If you're out there, lads, I'd like to hear from you. I know it's a long time ago, but if you're watching, you should remember.
I love the old movie tone clips, don't you? In fact, we played that particular piece all the way through in the cutting room and came across another bit we thought you'd like to see, where our future queen was drawn into a crossing the equator ceremony. And if you're watching, Ma'am, remember this?
The princesses had their faces powdered with giant puffs. The performing barbers were Chief Petty Officer Sullivan of Portsmouth and Petty Officer Brown of Banbury. Instead of the soap pills given to the other novices, the princesses had glacé cherries.
Now, how many sailors can claim to have got that close to a future queen with a powder puff? It's not the kind of thing that they'd forget, and we'd be well and truly made up if those 2 petty officers, Sullivan and Brown, would get in touch with us. Finally, I want you to take a look at this. Now, does anyone recognize these photographs? That's a fairly important one there because it's of a christening, and I'll just flick through the pictures so that you can look. Because this album was left in the back of a London taxi, and the driver, Julian Schenker, who lives in Catford, has sent it to Searchline, and if the owner gives us a ring, we will return this album and all the pictures. Right, now the quickie section. We'd like the following people to contact us. Sid Dawson from Nottingham, who served in the RAF at Tyne-Tees Airport in 1948. Joyce Brennan from Chesterfield, last heard of in County Antrim, Northern Ireland in 1969. Frank Hawkins, last seen 40 years ago in Winchester when he was in the army. Brenda O'Rourke, last seen in Birmingham 9 years ago. Your brother Mick McDade needs to speak to you urgently. Now, if any of those people, or indeed anyone mentioned on Searchline this evening are watching, please contact us on 01 222 8070. And our researchers will be answering the telephones until 10 o'clock tonight. You can also write to us at Searchline, Surprise Surprise, London Weekend Television, South Bank TV Centre, London SE 996YW. That's the lot. I shall be back next week, hoping to tell you about more successes from this week's Searchline. But right now, we'll go back to Cilla.
Thanks a lot, Gordon, and we look forward to more goodies from you next week. Now stand by for a really super surprise. Where are you, Linda Lupton? Where are you, Linda? Linda, would you come down and join me, please, and bring your mother Eileen with you? Will you do that? Surprise, surprise! sit down there. And hello, Eileen. Eileen, sit down here, Chuck. Yes, isn't that lovely? Now, Linda, I suppose you're wondering what surprise we've got in store for you.
Yes, I certainly am.
Well, we've got a couple of surprises, actually, because you have two younger sisters, don't you?
That's right. Yeah.
You're Shirley, who lives in Great Yarmouth, and you're Sharon, who lives in Shropshire.
That's right.
Well, surprise, surprise, they're not there tonight. They're right here. Come in, Shirley and Sharon. Nice surprise. Look at that. Have a seat down there, girl. Have a seat. Make yourself comfortable. Oh, it's all friendly. Eileen, isn't this lovely having all your daughters here on Surprise, Surprise? But you, Linda, you're not really the eldest daughter, are you?
No, I'm not.
No, because 40 years ago, you had another little girl, didn't you?
Oh, this is all Danny.
You did. And through no fault of your own, you tried to look after her, but she was adopted, wasn't she? Now, what was her name, Eileen?
Carol.
Yes, it was Carol. Now, you've often wondered how Carol was. Is she well? Is she happy? Well, I can tell you right now, we have found your Carol after 40 years. Come in, Carol. Say hello to your mum. You've got 4 extra grandchildren you never knew about. Come in, kids. What a super surprise. Enjoy your new family, Eileen. The more the world is changing, the more it stays the same. Life is full of small surprises. It's a never-ending game. If nothing is impossible, will you believe your eyes? If the unexpected brings a smile, that's a big surprise, surprise, surprise. The unexpected hits you between the eyes. The unpredictable, that's the surprise, you see. Surprise, surprise. Well, the clock says that's all we have time for. But we will be back next week to surprise a few more people. I'd like to thank everyone who's taken part in tonight's show, and especially our Bob Calgies and our lovely Gordon Burns. See you all next week. Ta-ra then. Ta-ra.